Hello friends, in this session we are going to see practice questions for percentage and profit and loss. So let us start directly with the question because the theory part we have already covered in the separate videos for percentage and profit and loss. So please first go through those videos and then if you come attend this session here or solve these questions, that will be really helpful. So let us start with question number 1. This question we did. Okay. It says A wins an election by getting 59% of the votes. Had A got 37576 votes less, he would have still won by 52% votes. Find the total number of votes the losing candidates received. So first of all, if you know, out of the total votes, if winner is receiving 59%, that means the loser is going to receive 41%, the remaining percent, that is 41%. They are asking what is the votes received by the losing candidates. So that means the answer should be 41% of the total votes. So whatever 41% of total votes is has to be multiple of 41 because how you calculate it? Whatever the total votes are, let's say T are the total votes. It's 41%. That means into 41 upon 100. So the 41 stays in the numerator because there is nothing in the denominator to cancel that 41. So 41's multiple should be the answer. So even if from the option, if you can quickly check the multiple of 41, that will be really helpful. But let us solve with the proper method as well. If I say the total votes are 100x, out of which winner is receiving 59% means 59x. But it now says instead, had he received these many votes less, that means if you decrease these many votes from his existing votes, so 59x minus 37576 if you do, now the number of votes that he is getting are 52%. Because it says he still won, that means he still got 52% votes. So these votes are 52% of the total, that is 52x. And then you can just make the equation that gets us 7x is equal to 37576. And then x will be equal to 7 5s are 7 3s are 7 6s are 42 and then 7 8s are 5368 is the value of x. They're asking what is the number of votes that the losing candidates receive. So all you have to do is put here because out of 100x votes, if losing candidates is actually they are getting all the losing candidates together, it means if together they are getting 41% means 41x. So you just have to put the value of x here. So 41 into this, if you do, the answer will be 220088. Option number 2. Easy. Let's see one more question. It says in a club election, two candidates A and B, 55% of the female voters voted for A, while 36% of the male voters voted for B. If A won the election by receiving 60% of the total votes, then total number of female voters is what percent of the total number of male voters? So friends, this is the question which I called 2 by 2 question. 2 by 2 why? Because there are two candidates A and B, and against those there are two other type of voters, females and males. So that is why I call it 2 by 2, 2 parameters by 2 parameters. So we solve these type of questions by making tables. So you can just make a 2 by 2 table like this. And you can write here males, females. And here you can write A and B. And the grand total you can consider as 100. 100, 100x, whatever. If the actual number is given somewhere, you will have to take it as 100x. You can't take 10, 100. But here, because everywhere only percentage is mentioned, and the question is also about the percentage. So you can take the final figure or the grand total as 100. It says 55% of the female voters voted for A. So instead of taking 100, sorry, we take, because it is said 55% of the female voters. So what we can do is, we can consider the female voters as 100. Why? and male voters as 100x. So the total voters will be 100x plus 100y. And if you take 100 common, it is 100x plus y. That will be little easier rather than taking that as a. Now it says out of the total female voters, 55% voted for A. So out of this, 55% means 55Y, they voted for A. That means the remaining 45Y, they voted for B. Similarly, 36% of the male voters voted for B. So out of the 100x male voters, 36% means 36x, they voted for B. So remaining 64x, they voted for A. It says A won the election by receiving 60% of the total votes. So if the total votes are 100 times of x plus y, its 64% will be 64 times of x plus y. Right? If we say 100A, its 64% will be 64A. So similarly, 100x plus y, its 64% will be 64x plus y. So that means, 60x plus y. It says that A receives 60% of the total votes. So if the total votes are 100 times of x plus y, A receives 60 times of x plus y. That means the total votes of A should be these many. So this plus this should be equal to this. So just make the equation out of it. 64x plus 55y should be equal to 60% of total, that is 60 times of x plus y. You can write it as 60x plus 60y. And then it becomes 4x is equal to 5y. That gets us x upon y is equal to 5 upon 4. What is this ratio? This ratio is nothing but the ratio of males and females. This is the ratio of males and females because male are 100x and females are 100y. So if I ask you what is the ratio of males upon females, so 100x upon 100y is nothing but x upon y. So this is basically the ratio. So if they are asking females are what percent of male, so you have to calculate 4 is what percent of 5, because this is the ratio between total males and females. So 4 is what percent of 5. How do you calculate it? 4 upon 5 into 100, that is 80%. And that is why the answer is going to be 80%. Got this? Let's see next one. In an election between two candidates, 10% did not vote, 200 votes were declared invalid, and winner got 75% of the valid votes and won by 1700 votes. Find the total number of voters. So if we again say the total voters, voter means what? Voter in this case does not mean that who votes, because everybody who is above 18 years, I'm just giving you a general example. Everybody who is above 18 years can be a voter. But does everybody votes? No. So we are voter. If you don't vote, that is not considered as your vote, but you are still voter. So that is what the total voter means. So you have to consider the total number of voters first. So if I say that number is 100x, so out of this, 10% did not vote. So first of all, the votes are going to be 90% of it, because 10% did not vote. 10% didn't even vote. So the total votes received will be 90x, out of which again 200 were invalid. So that means the valid votes will be 200 less than this. So 90x minus 200, they are the valid votes. The winner got 75% of the valid votes and won by 1700 votes. So winner got 75% of valid votes. That means the loser is going to get 25% of the valid votes. What is the difference between these? 75% of this number minus 25% of this number. The difference will be 50%. Difference will be 50%. So 50% of 90x minus 20 is the difference between the votes by winner and votes by loser. And that difference is given as 1700 votes because he won by 1700 votes. Won by 1700 votes means what? if we say India won by 5 runs, so it doesn't mean that India made 5 runs. India made 5 runs more, or the difference between two teams was 5 runs. So the difference is 1700 votes. So this difference that we have calculated here should be 1700. So 50% of this should be 1700. So if you do 50% means half of it, it is 45x minus 100. If that is equal to 1700, that gets us 45x is equal to 1800. So x will be equal to 40. If x is 40, you are asked what is the total number of voters. So you have to put that 40 here in the total number of voters here. That is why the answer will be 4000. Easy. Let's see one more. Now, this is again one of the very, very typical type of the questions that they ask in exams, examination-based questions. A student got 20% marks and failed by 72 marks. If he scored 40% marks, then he gets 8 marks more than the passing marks. Find the passing marks. So you can start your question considering maximum marks or the total marks in the exam as 100x. A student gets 20% marks. So 20% of the maximum marks if he is getting, so he is getting 20x marks. And he failed by 72 marks. That means the passing marks are 72 more than his marks. Because he failed by 72 marks means as compared to passing marks, he got 72 less. That means the passing marks are 72 more than his marks. Had he got 40% marks, if he scores 40%, that means if he scores 40x, then he gets 8 marks more than the passing marks. That means the passing marks are 8 less than now his marks. So passing marks will be 8 less than his marks. So friends, these are also the passing marks. These are also the passing marks. Both are same because same exam has been conducted. So both marks should be equal. So you just have to equate it. And we get 20x is equal to 80. So x will be equal to 4. Now you will always arrive at this conclusion here, x is equal to 4. After that, whatever asked, accordingly you have to act. In this case, what asked is find the passing marks. So in this case, passing marks has been asked. So you can put your x is equal to 4 here or here because both are passing marks. If you put x is equal to 4 here, it is 20 into 4, 80 plus 72. That is 152. Or if you put here 40 into 4, 160 minus 8, that is 150. Anywhere you can put, the answer is going to be 152. I hope you got this. Let's see one more. Now this is little different, but same kind. Ram scored 40% marks and failed by 20 marks. Aditya scored 45% marks and obtained 30 marks more than the passing marks. So again, we can start our question considering maximum marks as 100x. So out of 100x, Aditya scored Ram scored 40%. That means Ram is going to get 40% of 100x, that is 40x marks. And he failed by 20 marks. That means passing marks as compared to his marks are 20 more. 20 more than 40x. So 40x plus 20. Whereas Aditya scored 45% marks. So Aditya scored 45%, that is 45x. As compared to him, passing marks will be 30 less because he got 30 marks more than the passing marks. So passing marks will be 30 less than his marks. That is 45x minus 30. So as we discussed earlier, these are also passing marks, these are also passing marks. So both have to be equal. So just equate these two. So it gets us 5x is equal to 50. So x will be equal to 10. So if you put x is equal to 10 here, it will be 1000. That means the maximum marks are 1000. And if you put x is equal to 10 here, it will be 400 plus 20. 420 are the passing marks. They are asking what is the passing percentage. So passing percentage means what? Passing marks are what percent of the total marks. That is what the passing percentage will be. So 420 is what percent of 1000? That means 420 upon 1000 into 100. If you solve this, it is going to be 42%. But friends, if the question is little tricky or something, figures are not so easy, then you can do one thing all the time, that rather than converting this figure in terms of x, you can convert 10. That means putting x is equal to 10 here, rather than putting x is equal to 10 here, you can put 20 in terms of x. Because 10 is equal to x, so 20 will be equal to 2x. If 10 is x, 20, the 2 times of 10 will be 2 times of x, that is 2x. So instead of 20, if you put 2x, this becomes 40x plus 2x, 42x. So out of 100x, if 42x are the passing marks, that means 42% is the passing percentage. So this is the thing that you can always do. Now some student some students solve this question, try to solve this question little orally. Of course, if you do sufficient practice, you can also do that. What they do is, they can just take the difference between these two. 40% and 45%, the difference is 5%. And that should be equal to 20 plus 30, the addition of these two. That is 20 plus 30 is 50. So 5% of the maximum marks are equal to 50. So 1% will be equal to 10. 1% will be equal to 10. So if 20 marks he is getting less, that means 2% marks he is getting less. And if he is getting 40% and he is getting 2% less than the passing marks, that means he is getting 42% marks. But of course, this requires first of all practice. But as I keep telling all the time, the exam that you are targeting has other subjects to learn also. Mathematics or quantitative aptitude has a very less portion as compared to the other subjects. So you don't have to do as much practice as you would have to do for other banking exams. You can limit your practice up to basic and understanding level. So if you understand something, you can just move on. Okay, let's see one more. A student scored 36% mark in exam and failed by 32 marks, while another student scored 48% marks and passed by 64 marks. Find the passing percentage. So it is the same question. We can do directly as we did previous one. 36 minus 48, that is 12%, is equal to 32 plus 64, that is 96. So if 12% is equivalent to 96, that means 1% is equivalent to 8. So if he is getting 32%, 32 marks less, so 32 marks will be equivalent to 4%. So he is getting 4% less than his maximum marks. So if he is getting 36, 4% more than 36 means 40% were the passing percentage. It is the same question. Let's see one more. A student failed by 50 marks when he gets 30% marks. So if we say maximum marks are 100x, a student gets 30%. That means the student gets 30x marks. And he failed by 50 marks. That means the passing marks are 50 more than his marks. So passing marks are 30x plus 50. 50 more because he failed by 50 marks. Another student who got 30 marks, another student passed by 30 marks. Passed by means he got 30 marks more than the passing marks. And if he's actually getting 230 marks, that means the passing marks are 30 less than his marks. His marks are 230. he got 30 more than passing marks. So passing marks are 30 less than 230, that is 200. So that gets us 30x is equal to 150, x will be equal to 5. So if x is 5, they're asking what is the maximum marks. You just have to put it here. That gets us 500. So 500 are the maximum marks. Raj went for shopping with 3500. He spent 5% of the total amount on transport. He spent 20% on food, 70% of remaining on clothes, and remaining on footwear. Find the amount spent on footwear. So out of 3500, first of all, 5% on transport and 20% on food. So 25% already gone. Already gone. So what remains is 75% of it. So 75% of 3500, those are the remaining. Now out of the remaining, he spends 70% of the remaining on clothes. So out of this, 70% he's spending on clothes and remaining on footwear. So remaining means 30%. So this amounts 30%. So 30% of 75% of 3500, he is going to spend on footwear. They are asking how much he is spending on footwear. So as we discussed earlier, your answer has to be multiple of 3 also. 75 means again 3 also, and 35 means 7 also, because 35 is already multiple of 7. So your answer has to be multiple of 7 and 3. 3 because 30% you will be calculating, and because in that product there will be 35 means 7. So if you observe the 7 and 3 both multiple, I think this will be only answer. See, when I say 7's multiple and 3's multiple, you don't have to consider the decimal. Without the decimal, you have to see that number. And why it is the 7's and 3's multiple? Because 30% of 75% of 3500 means 30% of 75% of 3500. This 0000 will get cancelled from here. From here, we can say it is 3 by 4. Right? So these 3 stays. That's why the answer should be multiple of 3. And 35 also stays. 35 is multiple of 7. So there is nothing in the denominator to cancel out that 7 in the 35. So answer has to be multiple of 7 as well. Or you can just solve this. The answer is going to be 787.5. Okay, now this is one of the important question. Fresh watermelon contain 90% water by weight, whereas the dry watermelon contain 20% water by weight. What is the weight of dry watermelon obtained from 20 kg of fresh watermelon? So if you have 20 kg fresh watermelon, this watermelon is fresh. So it will have 90% water. So it will have water, that is 90% of it. So remaining part we call the solid part apart from water. We call pulp. So pulp will be 10%. So if I ask you, what is the amount of pulp in this? 10% of 20 means 2 kg. 2 kg is going to be the pulp. Now what happens is, due to dehydration, some of the water evaporates. And now whatever the dry watermelon total weight is, whatever the dry water's total weight is, let's call it x kg. Out of that, the water percent is only 20%, because the dry watermelon will have water only 20%. So that means the pulp will be 80%. The pulp will be 80%. Now see friends, please understand, because of evaporation, only water is going to get reduced. So whatever the water was initially 18 kg. So only water will get reduced. Pulp will stay same. If initially the pulp was 2 kg, now also the pulp is going to be 2 kg. So this 2 kg is 80% of the new weight of the watermelon. So new weight, if x, X's 80% should be equal to 2. So what is the value of X they are asking? So it is very easy to solve. It is 20 is 4 times, 20 is 5 times, and that gets us 10 upon 4. That means 2.5 kg. So the new weight of the watermelon or the weight of dry watermelon is 2.5 kg. They're asking us how much kg dry watermelon we can obtain out of 20 kg fresh watermelon. So from this 20 kg fresh watermelon, we obtained dry watermelon, which is 2.5 kg. Got this? Let's see one more. Okay, now that was about the different questions from the percentage topic. Now we'll see some different questions from profit and loss. Ramesh bought a laptop for 14,500 and spent 500 on its repairing. He promised Shyam to sell the article at 10% discount, but he still earns a profit of 5%. Find how much more did he mark the laptop than the price for which he bought the laptop. So he bought the laptop for 14,500, but he spends 500 on the repairing. So for him, or for the calculation or the technical part of the calculation, we'll consider cost price as 15,000. This plus this. See, the installment cost, the repairing cost, the transportation cost, they all consider under the cost price. You buy something for some price, but if you are spending more money in repairing, installing, or transportation, that also added in the cost price. So entire cost price is considered 15,000. But whereas if you ask how much he bought for, it still stays the 14,500. Now he promised Shyam to sell the article at 10% discount, but he still earns a profit of 5%. So 10% is the discount and 5% is the profit. You are asked what is the markup percent. So you know the formula because the figures are in percentage. So you can solve the question easily with the help of formula. Profit percent is equal to markup minus markup discount upon 100. So profit is 5. Markup we have to calculate minus discount minus markup into discount upon 100. This 10 goes that side, becomes 15. 15 will be equal to 9 am upon 10. That gets us am is equal to 150 upon 9 or 50 upon 3%. That means the markup to be done is 50 by 3%. If you want to solve or if you want to calculate the fraction here, that will be 16.66%. So 16.66% is 1 by 6. So 1 by 6, he'll increase it with 1 by 6. 1 by 6 of it is 6 is 25. So he'll increase it with 2,500 rupees. So this is the markup he's doing. That means he's increasing the price with 2,500. So the final price is 17,500. But as I said, what they're asking is this price. They're asking how much more did he mark the laptop than the price he bought. So this is the mark price. So they're asking this mark price is how much more than the price he bought this laptop for. So 2,500 is not the answer. If you mark 2,500, that will be wrong because he did not buy it for 15,000. He bought it for 14,500. So as compared to this price, this is how much more that is being asked. So it is 3,000 more. So the answer is going to be 3,000. So they are not asking you the markup value. They are basically asking the difference between this and this. Okay. Let's see one more. Mark price of product is 340 more than the cost price. If 15% discount is offered at the mark price, then profit percent of the product is 27.5%. Find the cost price of the product. So profit, the mark price of the product is 340 more than the cost price. If 15% discount is offered, then the profit percent is 27.5%. So you can first calculate the markup percent. You know, profit percent is equal to markup percent minus discount percent minus markup discount upon 100. So if profit percent is 27.5 is equal to markup, we have to calculate minus discount minus markup discount upon 100. This 15 goes that side and makes it 42.5 is equal to 5 3s are 5 20s are 20 minus 3, 17 m upon 20. So if you multiply it with 2, it is 85. 850 upon 17 will be equal to m. That makes m is equal to 50%. That means 50% markup is being done. So if mark price is 340 more than the cost price, what is markup percent? If cost price is 100x, you are marking up with 50% means 50x. So the mark price will be 150x. They are saying the mark price is 340 more than the cost price. Difference between these two, which is 50x, they are saying is 340. So what is the cost price? So if 50 axis value is 340, 100 axis value will be 2 times of it. That is 680. So 680 is going to be the cost price. Easy. Let's see one more. A fruit seller buys some mangoes. By selling 50% of the total mangoes, he get profit equal to 50% of his overall cost. 80% of the remaining mangoes, he sell at the profit of 1/4 of his previous profit percentage. If he throw rest of the mangoes due to spoilage, then find his overall profit percent. So here we can consider number of mangoes also of our own choice and the price also of our own choice, because the question is just about the percentage. So if I say he buys mangoes worth 100 rupee per mango. So this is, let's say, the price 100 rupee per mango. And he buys such a 100 mangoes. So for him, the overall cost will be, because he's buying 100 mangoes worth 100 rupees each for each mango. So 100 into 100, for him, the entire cost is going to be 10,000. This is going to be the overall cost for him. Now what he does is, he sells 50% of the total mangoes at the profit equal to 50% of his overall cost. So if overall cost is 10,000, for the first lot of mangoes, he sells 50% of the total mangoes, that is 50 mangoes. So for this 50 mangoes, the cost price is going to be 5,000. 50 into 100, 5,000. And the profit he makes is 50% of the overall cost. 50% of this overall cost is 10,000. So he makes profit of 5,000. That means he sells it for 5,000 plus 5,000. Selling price is cost price plus selling profit. Cost price plus profit, that is 10,000. So he sells it for 10,000. So if 5,000 worth of stuff he sells for 10,000, that means there is a profit percent of 100%. Because profit is 5,000 on 5,000. So 100% profit. Now the second lot, 80% of the remaining mangoes. So out of 100 mangoes, he first sold 50. So now remaining are 50. So out of the 50 remaining mangoes, he sells 80%. 80% of this is 40 mangoes. So for these 14 mangoes, cost price is going to be 4,000. It says he sells at the profit 1/4 of his previous profit percent. So if previous profit percent was 100%, now he wants the profit 1/4 of it, that is 25%. So 25% of this is 1,000. So now he wants 1,000 rupees profit. So he'll sell it for cost price plus profit. That means 5,000. So he sell it for 5,000. And remaining mangoes he threw. So what is his overall cost price? Overall cost price was 10,000. And how much he earned ultimately by selling all the mangoes? In first lot, he earned 10,000. In the second lot, he earned 5,000. So entire selling price will be 15,000. So they are asking, what is his entire profit percent? clearly there is a 5,000 profit on 10,000. So you can solve it easily. There is a 50% profit. So entire profit is going to be 50%. Easy. Of course, they can't be asking these type of questions. I've never seen such question, but RBI Grade B being changing pattern and all can ask these lengthy questions or little tricky questions as well. But you can simplify those. You can just consider the figures which are very easy to calculate percentage for, and then you can just follow this method. Got this? Let's see one more. A man sells teacup at profit of 12%. Had he bought it for 20% less and sold it for rupees 6 more. So let's say the cost price, initial cost price was 100x. He earns the profit of 12%. That means the initial selling price was 12% more than that, because he earns the profit 12%. So he sells it for 112x. Had he bought it for 20% less, that means as compared to this cost price, if the next cost price is 20% less as compared to this, that means 80x. And he sold for 6 more. That means as compared to the old selling price, if the selling price is 6 more, that means 112x plus 6. Then he gains 50%. 50% gains means on this cost price, because this is the new cost price now. So as compared to this cost price, if he wants to gain 50%, that means this selling price should be 50% more than this cost price. So 50% more than 80x. What is 50% of 80x? That is 40x. So 40x more than 80x should be this selling price. That means it should be equal to 120x. So that gets us 8x is equal to 6, or x is equal to 6 upon 8, or 3 upon 4 means 0.75. They are asking what is the cost price. Cost price means obviously this cost price, because this is like hypothetical. Had it happened, had it happened. The actual cost price is this. So you have to put 0.75 here. So the answer will be 75. Easy? Very typical question. This is one of the typical questions. So you can just follow this method all the time and solve easily. Now, although this is a clerk level question, but really good challenging question. It says a shopkeeper sells 2 pens. He sold first pen, 1 pen at profit and another at loss. Selling price of each of the 2 pens is 300, and profit percent on 1 pen is equal to loss percent on second. If overall loss of shopkeeper is 6.25%. So we discussed one situation in our profit and loss video that if selling price of 2 articles are equal, one article is sold at profit, another is sold at loss, and if profit percent on 1 is equal to loss percent on second, then there will be always loss of r square upon 100%. So everything is falling here in the place, because selling price of both each of the 2 means both are same, and that is equivalent to 300. Profit percent on 1 is equal to loss percent on second, and let's call that as a r. So the overall loss percent is 6.25%. That means this overall loss r square upon 100 should be equal to 6.25. Now you can easily solve r square should be equal to 625. That makes r is equal to 25%. That means the first pen he sold with 25% profit, and second pen he sold it with 25% loss. So you know, if for first pen, if profit is 25%, that means now I am directly solving with the help of ratio. How to solve with the help of ratio? CP is to SP. 25% profit means what? 4 rupees stuff he is selling for 5. Now why did I take 4? Because the fraction of 25% is 1/4. So 25% profit means there is a profit of 1 on 4, because 1 is 25% of 4. So 4 rupee worth of stuff you are selling for 5. Actually, you are selling it for 300. This is the ratio. Actually, you are selling it for 300, which is 60 times. That means actually you bought it for 240. So the cost price of first article is 240. Whereas in case of second article, there is a loss of 25%. Loss of 25% means CP is to SP is 4 is to 3. 4 rupee worth of stuff you will be selling it for 3 because on 4 rupees, there is a loss of 1. So you'll sell it for 3. Actually, you sell it for 300. Second article also you sell it for 300. That means you bought it for, if this is getting 100 times, this should also get 100 times. You bought it for 400. So 400 is the actual cost price of the second product. They are asking, what is the difference between the cost prices? So what is the difference between these two? That is 160. So 160 is going to be the answer. I hope you got this. Let's see one more. Now this is RBI Grade B question. This is the level that we are expecting in our exam. There was a loss of 22% after selling an article at 40% discount. So the shopkeeper has increased the mark price of the article by 40%, but had allowed the same discount percent if he earned rupees 184 as profit after increasing the mark price. Then find the cost price of the article. So we can solve this question using formula first because we know the loss percent and we know the discount percent. We can first find the markup percent. So we can say, we know the formula profit percent is equal to markup percent minus discount percent minus markup discount upon 100. But because here there is a loss, instead of profit, you have to write minus 22 because profit is negative. That is minus 22% is equal to markup percent minus discount percent is 40 minus markup discount upon 100. This 40 goes the other side and makes it 62. Oh, sorry, 18. 40 minus 22, that makes it 18. 18 is equal to, this will be 2 by 5. So 5 minus 2, 3m upon 5. So that gets m is equal to 6 into 5, 30%. So markup is 30%. So that means if the cost price of the article is say 100x, the mark price will be 130x because he is marking up by 30%. Now they say if he increases the mark price by 40%. So this, let's call this as mark price 1. So again he increases it by 40%. 40% will be 30. 13 is the 10%. So 40% will be 52x. So if he increases it with 52x, it becomes 182x. And now if he gives the same discount percent, he earns 184 rupees as the profit. Same discount percent means same 40% discount. So he will sell it for, if he gives 40% discount, that means he sell for 60% of this. So what is the 60% of this? 10% will be 18.2. 60% will be 18.2 into 6. 18.2x into 6. That is 109.2x. Now they are saying he ultimately makes a profit of 184. So as compared to this cost price, this selling price is how much more? That is called as the profit. So 9.2x more. So profit is 9.2x, which is said 184. So x will be equal to, this is clearly 2 times means 20 times of it. So x will be 20. So if you put x is equal to 20 here, the cost price of the article is going to be 20 into 100. That is 2000. 2000 will be the cost price. Let's see one more question like this. Shopkeeper sells two products, A and B. He sells product A. There are two products, A and B. Product A at X% profit and product B at 8% loss. The total selling price of both the products is this, and the cost price of A and B are in the ratio 4:3. Okay. Okay, let's see this again. Shopkeeper sells two products A and B. He sells product A at X% profit and product B at 8% loss. If the total selling price of both the product is 4344 and cost price of product A and product B are in the ratio 4:3. So you can say A and B, there are two articles. A sold at X% profit, B sold at 8% loss. And the combined selling price is said 4344. Their cost prices are in the ratio 4:3. If the shopkeeper had sold the product A at the loss percent equal to the loss occurred on B, so B had 8% loss. So if I say the cost prices, because they are in the ratio 4:3, so if I say the cost price here is 400x, here the cost price will be 300x because the ratio is 4:3. Okay, x is already taken, so we'll take another variable. We can say it is y. If I say cost price of A is 400y, cost price of B we can say 300y because the ratio is 4:3. They are saying if he sells A for 8% loss, that means he sells at 92% of this. 8% loss means 92% of it. So if he sells for 92% of this, the selling price becomes 2208. So you can just find the value of y from here. It is going to be easy. 0, 0 gets cancelled. This is 4, 5 times, 5 times, 2 times. And it is going to be 6 times. So y will be equal to 6. So if y is 6, cost price here is going to be 2400 and cost price here is going to be 1800. Now it says this article is sold for 8% loss. That means it is sold for 92% of it. So 1800's 92% is the selling price. Now we are calculating the selling prices. It is going to be 18 into 92. That is 1656. So if selling price of the second article is 1656 and together the selling price is 4344, so you can calculate the selling price of first article. This minus this is going to be the selling price of first article, and that is going to be 2688. So if 2400 worth of stuff he's selling for 2688, that means he is making profit of 288. So profit is 288, cost price is 2400. They are asking us what is profit percent. Profit percent is profit upon cost price in 200. 0, 0 gets cancelled. It is going to be 1 times and 2 times. So there is a 12% profit on A. So the value of X is going to be 12. Easy. So I hope you got all these questions. Keep doing practice of different previous year questions from different banking exams, and then only you can become very, very comfortable solving these questions. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.